Hello everyone, greetings from the Costa del Sol in Spain. This is Santiago Llera, and today we're going to talk about a very important decision, how to choose resale versus a new development. And in this specific location where we are in Spain, it's quite a dilemma. The prices are actually very close to each other. A property which is maybe 20 years old could be the same price in the same location of a brand new development which is maybe 2 years from completion. And in this video we are going to talk about the pros and cons of each of these decisions, and we're gonna see it straight away. First of all, let's talk about the resale properties, okay? When we go for these kind of properties, normally are someone who would like to choose a better location, right? Back in the times, the way that the Costa del Sol were developed, obviously the oldest buildings were built closer to the beach. And this is one of the biggest pros of this option, which is actually the location. When you buy a resale, depending on the area, but for example, areas like Fuengirola City or Marbella City, properties which are so close to the sea were built more or less in the 70s and the 80s. So if you are okay with that old-fashioned or traditional style, you probably could be in a better location than if you would prefer modern style, for example. Another good thing about the resales is the prices. Depends on the age of the apartment or depends on how old is the villa. It will always be cheaper, something which is older than something that is new. When it comes to prices, it's a little bit, at the moment, still a little bit better in price. And also you have a bit of margin in negotiation who can get you a better deal for a resale. That's another plus as well for the resales, is the way to negotiate the price. There is a whole video about negotiations that I have on my channel that you can check here. We have a very good strategy to really understanding about the seller, if it's a Spanish seller, to gather as much information as we can of these resale properties and to be in a stronger position in the negotiation, maybe with the payment terms and getting the best deal as possible. When in the new developments, it's not that easy to negotiate price and sometimes it's just impossible. And the last big plus we have with the resales is obviously the timing. Normally a resale transaction in Spain, it could take maximum of 2 months. We can get the keys very quickly, pay the reservation, sign the arras contract, and schedule the notary in less than a month. That's actually possible. It's a timing-wise much faster than something which is under construction, obviously. When it comes to the cons of the resales, I must say is the renovation. There is always something that you need to do to adjust it to yourself, to make a renovation in the kitchen or to improve the bathroom or change the flooring, the paintings. Always you need to do at least a little of adjustments, and this also costs money. So at the end of the day, that little renovations that sometimes we don't count it as the price of the property is also part of the property, and this is always something that we might need to do to the apartment or to the villa to adjust it to our likes and needs. The other problem I see as well with the resales is that it's rare, but it could happen that you have hidden problems in the property, right? I had a situation that inside the kitchen, the previous Spanish owner, they hid the pipe that was broken and they just cover it. And a month after my client moved, they started to have like more fungus all over the kitchen, and that's a big problem as well. So hidden problems is a big thing. It's rare, but as soon as you get the keys, you have no one to actually demand. You could demand, but since like situation like pipes or something little, there's not much we can do. The other thing is the problem as well with the resales is the facilities. Like the older buildings back in the 70s, the 80s or the 90s, they didn't build the same facilities that they put in the new developments nowadays. So forget about co-working or gym or anything like that. You'll be very thankful to have like an elevator and a pool, best case scenarios. Most of the time, they don't have these facilities that we have in the new builds. The other big thing, obviously, the energy efficiency, the way that they built back in the 70s and the 80s, the properties doesn't have this acoustic isolation. So in a lot of properties, you can hear a lot of noises from your neighbor. So you might need to do this sound isolation if it's not done yet. And as well, you have the energy efficiency problems. The materials are not that well in the isolation. So the energy efficiency, you might spend more money in your energy in the long term. That also affects the price. Let's talk about now the new developments, what's the pros and cons. First of all, the first big advantage of a new development, we all know, is like to have everything new, right? With 10 years guarantee in structural and 3 years guarantee in all the appliances, with you have everything new around you, like the elevators, the windows, the doors, the kitchen, the fridge, everything is brand new. Also, the qualities are much higher nowadays than when they would build the apartments and villas back in the days, because prices in Costa del Sol are much higher now. So you can find very good qualities in the new developments compared that you used to have back in the days. Another big thing as well, I think, is the style, right? If you're a person that you appreciate like good modern style and have this architect touch, is more common in the new developments than in the old buildings where they used to build big pieces of concrete and so on. Style is a big thing in the building, looks more in general, more fancy, more luxurious. The other good thing as well I see in the new developments is the timing of payment. It's not just about the price. In the resale, you have to buy it straight away. But in a new development, you have the big advantage in the payments. It's not like you have to complete the full down payment in all less than a month. Sometimes you have like a very comfortable payment terms divided in 2 years. So in some new developments, you have to do only a 6,000 euros deposit. Then you pay 15% of the price, like a month after that. And maybe you don't pay anything else until the next year. It's another 15%. And the rest, 70, could be paid on completion to get a mortgage and so on. And related about the mortgage, another the big plus of a new development as well is like the banks are more keen to lend money in new developments, because once you reserve the price from the beginning, you can have a good appreciation in the price in the future. So when the building is ready and they do the taxation, they're actually financing you instead of a 70% that you reserve that needs to be paid. They're actually finding about 50% of the value of the homes because the price went up on completion after these 2 years of construction. Let's talk about the cons of the new builds. Obviously, the timing. If you are a person that you are in a rush, that you need to move now, is never good, right? So that's not the best way to do it. The other good thing is the location. Normally, the new developments are placed in areas which are developing, which are a lot of things under construction around, and areas which is actually not that close to the sea, because the coastal area of the Costa del Sol is already built. Another situation which is a bit of worse than the resales in the new builds is the taxes. There is 3% difference between resales and new developments. In the new builds, you pay 10% of the VAT, and in the resales, you pay 7% because you pay the transfer tax, you don't pay the VAT. In conclusion, I would say there is not a defined best options to choose in resales versus new developments. I would say it depends of what's your interest. Normally, the real estate international investors, they prefer to choose a new development because of the capital gain you get from the pre-sale prices or the very early prices versus profit you get when the unit is finished. It depends on what's your need. If you are needs to move straight away, if you need to choose in a specific location and there is no new developments in that area, obviously you have to go for the resales market. But if you would like to have enjoyed this more luxurious life with better communal facilities, and you would like to have a good investment and you have the time to do that, right? You say, I'm going to retire in a couple of years, and I'm just going to reserve something now with comfortable payment terms and to have a more luxurious and brand new property in the future because you adjusted earlier in stage. So probably the new development is for you. And also it depends of your personal likes. If you like this traditional Spanish style, you're not going to find it in the new developments. It's more common on the resales. And if you're ready as well to do the renovation which is needed, or you prefer to have all guarantees of something brand new and wait the years that takes to construction, for sure the new development is for you. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to have an online meeting with me, I could show you some resale properties or new developments as you wish to, and I can answer all your questions, okay? Bye then, see you in the next video.